There is no reason.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the last session for Aquaculture webinar by Informa Markets today. I'm Rose Chitanwat. I'm going to be the MC as the moderator for the session today. This will be our last session, and we're gonna have the online exhibition in end of November, which we will share with you later on after we have finalized the webinar from today's session. So today I have the speaker with us. He is very important person from regional 3 in Philippines. The topic that we are going to cover by Mr. Willy today will be on the aquaculture overview amidst COVID-19 pandemic. However, I would like to say that it is our unfortunate situation during 2019 that we could not have the exhibition and bring in the aquaculture exhibition into Philippines. Till now 2020, the show will be postponed to May 2021 at World Trade Center. We are going to send the invitation to all of you, and definitely we will bring the exhibition back to Philippines again. Ladies and gentlemen, now we have our speaker with me. May I have a brief on Mr. Wilfredo M. Cruz, or we all know him as Sir Willy. Okay, Sir Willy is working for Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resource Region 3 as the regional director. I myself know him. He is very well recognized in Philippines to share about aquaculture industry in Philippines. He is the regional director who finished his bachelor degree in inland fisheries in Central Luzon State University since 1983, and his master degree in aquaculture at Pangasinan State University in 2007. So currently he is taking his doctorate degree in rural development at Central Luzon State University, Open University. So I wish Dr. Willy will be with his PhD soon. In February 2015, Sir Willy was awarded as the outstanding alumni of Central Luzon State University, while on September 2019, he was awarded by the province of Bulacan, Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, so now I don't want to waste your time to hear the story of what's happening in aquaculture sector in Philippines during the COVID pandemic situation. May I invite Sir Willy Cruz on the video, please, and let's start his presentation and sharing the experience on aquaculture in Philippines, sir. สวัสดีค่ะ
Yes, Miss Rose, nice to see you again.
Nice to see
And
you,
of course,
sir.
I would like to, of course, acknowledge the sponsors, the Informa markets, of course, the Informa Vietnam, Thailand, and of course, the sponsors of this Aquaculture Vietnam, where I've been, and Aquaculture Philippines supposed to be. So nice to know that the exhibition will be full through by 2021. So amidst this pandemic, so before I start, I would like to, of course, to thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity to share our experiences and, of course, our best practices in amidst the challenge of this COVID-19. And I know, in fact, that there are so many challenges, not only in the Philippines, but also in other countries. And of course, I'd like to acknowledge also all the participants in this webinar sponsored by Informa. So I am very honored to present to you our activities and our programs to cope up with this threat of this pandemic, particularly in Region 3. Region 3 is the Central Luzon. It is in the mainland of Luzon, which is very near Manila. And in fact, we are the main source of fish, of fisheries and other aquatic products that supplies the 12 million residents of Metro Manila. So my presentation, the outline of my presentation is about the background of Central Luzon, of course, by region, which we will be dealing with the regional fishery resources, regional fisheries production, the aquaculture and economic statistics. Of course, the impact of COVID-19 in our aquaculture industry and the current status of our aquaculture amidst this pandemic. Next slide, please. Yes, next slide. So I would like to give you background about our agency. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources is a line bureau of the Department of Agriculture. The government agency is responsible for the development, improvement, management, and conservation of the country's fisheries and aquatic resources. And we are reconstituted as a line bureau by the virtue of Republic Act number 8550, or the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998 now as mandated. Now we are mandated by the Republic Act 10654, the Republic Act that amends the Republic Act 8550. And we are also an institution of excellence in sustainable fisheries development and management. Next slide, please. And the Bureau, our mission is to improve the fisheries productivity within ecological limits and empower stakeholders towards food security, inclusive growth, global competitiveness, and climate change adaptation, taking into consideration food security and better quality of the fisherfolk through rational and equitable utilization of fisheries and aquatic resources. Next slide. And our vision is the Bureau envision an institution of excellence in sustainable fisheries development and management, providing quality service to its constituents. Next slide. So, peace things. We have saying these peace things. So, first, to achieve the food sufficiency and maximum productivity in the country, the Department of Agriculture must undertake the implementation of the basic foundation of a sound agriculture and fisheries program. So in the Philippines, the Department of Agriculture, its main, of course, target is to ensure the food security, also available and affordable food for the Filipinos, and on the part of BIPAR, our aim is to maintain a sustainable fisheries production for our people. Next slide. So as you can see, the regional fisheries resources, we have a long coastline of about 332 kilometers. And in Aurora, 110 kilometers, in Zambales Coast, and Manila Bay is 197. By the way, our region is composed of 7 provinces and 5 coastal provinces. We have 130 municipalities, and we have 80 municipalities, including inland. And of course, our fish ponds, our freshwater resources, our fish pond resources includes the freshwater, which about 8,260 hectares. We have a big brackish water of about 29,000 hectares. Our marine resources includes the coral reefs and the seagrasses and mangrove areas. For our inland resources, of course, we have a big swamplands of about 17,000 hectares, rivers, and lakes. Next slide, please. Yes, for our regional, excuse me. For our standing in the Philippines, of course, we have a major producer of aquaculture, of fisheries. So we contributed 322,000 metric tons of fish in our country, which valued to 41.5 billion. Next slide. So as you can see, our region ranks fifth in the fisher production in terms of volume, and contributes 7% of the Philippines' total fisheries production. Next slide, please. And of course, as I've said, we in terms of value, we contribute 15% of the Philippines' total fisheries production, which is about 41.5 billion. Next slide. Next slide, please. So for our regional fisheries profile, as I've said, we are 7 provinces. We are composed of 7 provinces. And in 2019, aquaculture has been the major contributory sector in fisheries production in Central Luzon. Our aquaculture contributed 79%, while municipal and commercial contributed 19% and 2%, respectively. So our aquaculture is about 252,000 971 metric tons. So, aquaculture really plays an important role in our fishery sector in Region 3. Next slide. For our standing in our commodities, for our fisheries commodities, Central Luzon contributes about 47% of national production, or about 131.4 metric tons, 1,000 metric tons. And we are also number one in shrimp production, which we contribute 22% or 23,000 metric tons. For mangrove crab, we rank second in mangrove crab. It's about 49%. And shellfish, we rank also second, and third in milkfish, which is about 66,960,000 metric tons. Next slide. So for our economic analysis, aquaculture plays the neutralizer. It is the neutralizer of Central Luzon's fishery sector towards the growth of the economy. And 79% of the total fisheries production in 2019. And in terms of value, the regional fisheries production is, or 80%, is about 32.94 billion from aquaculture. Next slide. So as you can see, the Central Luzon fisheries in production, as you can see in the slide, there was a dip in production in 2021 because of 2011, because of the several calamities we encountered. As you know, Philippines has a lot of typhoons, just like now happening. We have so many typhoons in a year, and it kicks up in 2012 up to 2015, but there was again a drip in 2012, but from I-16. But from then, it continues to kick up, and in 2019, we're still increasing the production in terms of aquaculture. Next slide, please. So, what are the impacts of the COVID-19 in our aquaculture industry? COVID-19 does not infect fish, but affects the whole aquaculture value food chain. Next slide. Hence, the aquaculture sector must adapt our new normal. The reality today is that the virus is not going to go away easily, and we will have to live with it for a longer period of time. Next slide. So our challenges on new normal, of course, our challenges are how to maintain fish production in the region amidst all the health protocol being implemented, prevent disruption of fish food supply chain in the fishery sector, and how to deliver continuously and efficiently programs and services to the fisher folk. So fish food production cycle must continue. That's our big challenge in the new normal. Next slide. And our efforts on the new normal, how did BIFAR cope amidst the COVID-19 outbreak and the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine? Of course, what we did is the continuous implementation of BIFAR programs and services to the fisher folk while ensuring food adequacy despite the pandemic. And our good secretary has insisted on the three principles so that we can cope up with these challenges of COVID-19. That is to survive, reboot, and grow. Next slide. So what we did, Central Luzon continues its production and production-related operation to provide fish stocks to fish farmers through input assistance and communal dispersal. So during the peak of of our ECQ, we didn't stop in providing our services. In fact, in terms of milkfish, we dispersed about 400,000 fingerlings to our fish farmers, and of course we continue to seed our lakes and rivers so that our marginal fisher folk or municipal fisher folk will continue to survive during the in the midst of this pandemic. Next slide. We also continue the aquaculture modernization through many system, and one of the system is the solar powered irrigation system. So we focus on small ponds where we double the stocking densities. And yesterday we have our final harvest of our trial using this technology, and it's very promising. We enable to increase our production from 5 tons to 15 tons per hectare in terms of as far as production per unit area is concerned. Next slide. And we also have we also consider our families, the Filipino families who are confined in their homes. So by introducing the technology on urban aquaponics, and also we also try to intensify our tilapia production through intensive tilapia hatchery system. Next slide. For our marketing assistance, we continue our Kadiwa. Kadiwa is a market system that aims to sell major agriculture and fishery commodity at a reasonably low price, also linking market between fisher folk and the consuming public. It helps fish farmers and fish traders sell their produce, especially during the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine. Next slide. And so that there will be no hampering, or there will be unhampered delivery of aquaculture inputs and products. We continues the issuance of local transport permit and food lane. These are requirements in our checkpoints, especially in those transporter from our region to Metro Manila, so that our delivery of foods will be smooth and unhampered. Next slide. And during the peak of the pandemic up to September 7, we issued 4,953 local transport permit with estimated volume of 12,800 metric tons and estimated value of 2.078 billion. We also out of these 4,953, 2,396 LTP were transported were used in the transporting fish and other fishery products to NCR within the National Capital Region with an estimated volume of 7,239 metric tons with a value of 574 million. And we also issued 1,619 food pass, and we conducted Kadiwa activities of 204. Next slide. Next slide. Yes. So for our IEC, uh, previous slide, please. Previous slide. For our training, we conducted aquaculture and post-harvest webinar series to provide continuous technical assistance to fish farmers and aquaculture stakeholders amid the global pandemic. So, since face-to-face training is being avoided, so we continue our series of training through webinars. Next slide. So, our production, we continue to monitor our production. So, our production from April is 11,634, and in June it continuously increase, and it reaches 27,719 metric tons. Next slide. So with the intensified efforts and efficient livelihood intervention, each stage of aquaculture supply chain in Region 3 was protected and continuously monitored to prevent food production cycle disruption. Despite the pandemic, Central Luzon was able to significantly increase its aquaculture production by 19%. And tilapia production in the region is in surplus. And so Region 3 is the potentially stable fish supply source of nearby regions like the National Capital Region. Next slide. Yes. And for tilapia surplus, we monitored we have about, in September, we have a projected surplus of 907.5 thousand metric tons. And in October, as per our inventory, we have a surplus of about 8,222.52 thousand metric tons. It's because of the because of the pandemic and the reduction in employment. There was a big unemployment rate created during the pandemic. So there was the buying capacity of our residents is very weak. So we have a surplus, and that's why we are experiencing tilapia surplus now. And now, as yesterday, we have about 10 to 30,000 metric tons of surplus. Next slide. Yes, there was, as I've said a while ago, there is a significant increase of 19% in aquaculture production in the first half of 2020. So, next slide. Yes, thank you. That's my presentation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the audience, Sir Willy have mentioned a lot of abbreviation name. I would like to explain a bit more. In Philippines, when they have the quarantine during the many situations, such as they face a lot of typhoon situation, they have the quarantine like level. They have till level 5, which is called ECQ, and they will step down according to the situation. That is referring to his slide on the transportation during ECQ, meaning like in a simple way, it's like lockdown, strictest, right, doctor? And the other thing is to, because I see the audience here, there are a lot of audience from outside Philippines. In Philippines, the ministry is equal to the department. So BFAR is like department under the department bureau bureau under the Department of Agriculture. So Department of Agriculture is equivalent to your Ministry of Agriculture. Okay, so before it's the bureau under the DA. Okay, so I just want to explain a bit more on a lot of abbreviation that I have experience on. Sir, it's very interesting to see the increase in the first half of 2020 for aquaculture production. So can you share a bit more about regional tree, that what type, what species is actually bring up the volume of the aquaculture in region 3?
Yes, it's Region 3 is so fortunate that we have organized cooperatives and associations on different commodities. Like in Region 3, we have a group of hatcheries. So this hatchery, they produce their fingerlings to cater the needs of our growers. So that's why we were the regions leading in terms of tilapia. And of course, we have also most of the feed millers are also located in Region 3 where they offer good terms in terms of feeds. We are also the leading region in terms of the rearing of fry to fingerlings bangus. So as of September 7, we produce about 890 million bangus fingerlings. And we cater not only Region 3, but neighboring regions like Region 1, Region 2, and 4A, as far as Region 5, the Bicol region. And of course, because of the prolonged summer, we have a good weather before. Unlike now, it's very, we are being battered by a lot of typhoons now. I think next week we have 2 typhoons. So because of the very favorable weather condition during the lockdowns, we managed to increase our production by 19%.
All right. Yeah, and those production, it's stock or it's delivered, because you was under ECQ, meaning like even you say that has the transport lane, public transport lane and food lane. How you manage to deliver to customer in, for example, like Quezon City or Metro Manila, which is most of consumer like 22 million around there.
Yeah, actually there is a reduction in demand. About 60% there is a reduction because of the lockdowns and of also the buying capacity of our residents. But so that not to hamper the delivery, so BFAR continues to assist. We created before 3, our post-harvest division, we created a chat group wherein the local government technical technicians also are involved, our producer, so that when when there are problems that happen along their transport, we can easily solve the problem by calling the local executives or the persons, the provincial focal persons involved in agribusiness or in marketing. So there are only few instances that there is that arrive in a big problem. That we most of the problems arises, we are able to solve it because of our group.
So can I elaborate, ask you to elaborate more how you handle, because very impressive for seeing the rise in the production and you still can continue even it's under the strictest level 5. I would say that the regional, the region government is helping by issuing the clearance for food pass and local public transport part for transport to the consumer. Can I say like that?
Yes, because we have a national task force, the national IATF, the in it is headed by secretaries, Secretary of DA, Secretary of Local Governments, and it is chaired by the Department of National Defense. So they issue orders not to hamper the delivery of food in Metro Manila particularly. So when there are problems that arises, one of the some of the requirements they are looking for is the local transport permit and of course our food pass. So we also initiated the online issuance of this permit so that
Wow.
to avoid the face-to-face contact so that we can address the uh, the spread of this virus.
So this means covering to the feed ingredients to the region 3 area. If they have to ship from Metro Manila port, it also can pass through the food pass and the local transportation, right?
Yes, even the feed millers, we issue also food pass, and they
All right.
are being, of course, they are recognized in checkpoints.
Okay, sir. So now come to the information in regard to the BFAR direction. There is a question, and I think many of audience here experience that there is the two fish that you mentioned. Is one is tilapia, second is bangus. So, sir, there is a question asking that what is the plan to increase the consumption of your citizen to eat more of this fish? What is the plan to reduce the muddy odor? It's quite smelly in some case. Do you have any project working on that?
Yes, on regarding the increasing of the consumption, we have a very good relationship with the local government units. We are promoting market linkages. And in our VFAR Central Office, there was also the post-harvest division that helps regions in identifying big markets for our produce. And regarding the your second question about the muddy smell
Yes, sir.
of the taste, muddy taste. So far for the last these years, we haven't experienced something like that because of the we are implementing now the good aquaculture practice. So good aquaculture practice permit is one of our requirements for those who are willing or who want to venture on fish farming. So through the seminar of through good aquaculture permit, good aquaculture practices, we are able to avoid instances where our fish will taste muddy, and of course our with our modernization programs, we are trying to improve our technologies like our solarized venturi system. We are now promoting this aeration system so that not only to increase production but also to avoid also these some issues in the taste of our fish.
Sir, if any farm, small farm, interested in your solar project, so how they can apply? It is available online to be part of the solar project.
Yes, our we have in BPAR Central Zone account in Facebook. We have also our we conduct a series of webinars regarding these technologies, and we share all the information and also the costing. Though the costing becomes much lesser now because of most of the manufacturers are selling online. So it is very favorable for us since there is a considerable reduction in prices in solar panels, in inverters, and others like batteries. So we are seeing in the near future that this technology will become much cheaper and available and affordable for our small fish farmers. Our technologies only targets the small fish farmers at least 1,000 square meter.
Yeah, that must be your fish things that the sustainable fisheries production. One of it is like helping the farmers to use solar, which is help in saving the cost and saving the energy. Okay, so sir, there is the question about the aim of BFAR, because we see your presentation. You also have the hatchery system to produce fingering for bangus. What about tilapia, sir? We have our
Yes,
own breed, yeah.
yeah. In tilapia, we have our national center in Bifar Muñoz, Nueva Ecija. It is considered the gene bank of tilapia in Asia. The gift tilapia was developed there, and also it is the father of the genome tilapia. So we maintain our good quality broodstocks, and we share our good quality broodstock to our, of course, our satellite hatcheries in government stations, and also to our registered tilapia hatcheries. And lately, we introduced our intensive tilapia hatchery system using this egg incubation system. So we are more on egg collection rather than the fry collection in the pans.
All right, so understand. That's why you can supply to other region also, because handle from the egg collection itself, right? So, sir, because I think that is a question that it is might be very simple, but I think you better explain what is bangus, sir, because there are many audience that not
Okay.
Philippines. They will ask
Sorry.
me like, what is bangus? Yeah.
Yes. Bangus is the local name of milkfish. So milkfish. For it so happened that I'm also the national focal person for bangus. So for bangus, our uh, our local demand for bangus fry is about 3 billion. As of now, we are only producing 1.2 billion bangus. So we have a deficit of about 1.8 billion. But with our initiative, we have already introduced our small scale or the community-based bangus milkfish larval rearing system, and we have already established 9. We are targeting 300 of satellite bangus community-based milkfish larval rearing facilities with the capacity of about 1.5 billion. So for the next 5 years, we are hoping that we will achieve our milkfish price sufficiency up to 90%. And we will only import about 10% of our requirement.
So the bangus is actually new fish, but it becomes, can I say it is national fish for Philippines?
Yeah, it is the national fish. But now they said that our national fish already tilapia.
All right, so great, great. It is black tilapia or red tilapia, sir?
We have black tilapia, and interestingly, red tilapia is becoming popular now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are because red tilapia is very tolerant in saline water, and we have ongoing research now in the sponsored by the Bureau of Agricultural Research regarding the saline tolerance of red tilapia in different culture system.
So what about the value chain of the tilapia or bangus in Philippines? Is end up in the supermarket or in the wet market or in the restaurant when the farmer have to sell fish, or it has to go through the packer, the processor?
At the present, we haven't yet reached this processing in terms of because processing requires bigger sizes of tilapia for filleting. Our tilapia market now is only at the market level. So we have big haulers in region in one of the provinces is Pampanga. It's producing about 30 to 60 tons per day. So they deliver this live. They develop a live fish tank in the trunk in the it is in the truck, a truck live fish transporter that distributes this live fish in different provinces and also in Metro Manila.
So you talk very less about shrimp. That some audience interested to know a little bit more about shrimp. Can you share how is the situation of monodon or the Vanamai production in region 3 at least on the shrimp sector?
Yes, actually, we are still the leading region in terms of production of shrimp because of our bigger brackish water areas. So usually the production of shrimp, it is culture in polyculture with other species like bangus and tilapia. So we have many shrimp hatcheries in Zambales. So they produce monodon and banamay. The banamay hatcheries, we BIPAR accredit these banamay hatcheries, while the monodon they only require registration from our from BIPAR, since monodon is a indigenous species for the Philippines.
All right. So meaning if any farm would like to do the monodon shrimp, they have to register, not just raising like Wanamai, right?
Yes,
that's what you mean. Okay.
Because
so
okay.
Yeah, sir. Continue, sir.
Because in Banamay, of course, we require we have issues also in the brood stock. So in order for you to be accredited for BIPAR, so you have to import your brood stocks.
Okay.
For Banamay.
So, sir, my next question is about your mission on the sustainable fisheries production. I would say covering on the aquaculture side. I myself see the Pangasinan area and region 3 is using a lot of brackish water and it's like coastal line. How you handle the overuse of the sea land or brackish water land in order to save the environmental issue. So how BIFA handle about that?
Yes, of course, again, we are now implementing the good aquaculture practice. So it says all because we have restrictions there. And regarding the environmental impacts, we have also another agency, the DNR, who issues the environmental compliance certificate. So from your planning, if it's not if it will cause some pollution, this agency will not issue ECC. So
all right. Yeah.
Yes.
And about the checking of the water quality, it's under BFAR or under the Department of Environmental, that this farm is really caused the pollution, the water quality is bad. It is under BFAR or the Department of Environment.
There is a bureau, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, is a line bureau, the Environmental Management Bureau, that is mandated to monitor this water quality in terms of pollutants is concerned. But for BPAR, our concern is only on water quality parameters, the physical and chemical. So if we found out that there are some occurrence or of this presence of these pollutants, so we can also based on our RA 10654 or our law, we can also sanction the individuals or the fish farmers that violates the good aquaculture practice that produces this kind of pollutants.
So the good aquaculture practice, it's like the certificate as well that issued by the region.
Yes.
Okay. So if anyone want to do the farm or not yet get the certification, now have to apply online with the BFAR Region 3. Am I correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So my last question for today's session, it is a big question to you, sir. I see your fish things from your President Duterte saying that Philippines first thing on food security. I know that every year Philippines has 2 million population increase every year, and in 2030 you may become like 125 million population, sir, as the high level in BFAR. So what is your encouragement to the audience and industry about how we can grow aquaculture to make the world sustainable, sir?
Yes. As what our vision and of course based on our assessment and what is happening, so aquaculture really will play a major role in coping up with the fish requirement of this growing population. So we have to, of course, we have to unite in terms of technology and sustainable technology to produce our fish requirements for this for our growing population. In fact, our good secretary has one of his new thinking in agriculture is the modernization. But most of these 8 new thinking paradigm, which includes industrialization, modernization, clustering, and of course this logistic provision. Our DA now has a lot of loan windows for our fisher folk, fish farmers, and it is no longer tedious to apply for loans, particularly especially in the loans regarding food production. So we are also modernizing our fishing boats, and but also for our environmental protection, we have this program, the MMK, the Malinis at Masaganang Karagatan. This is a contest. Actually, it's a contest of coastal municipalities with exemplary accomplishment in terms of their coastal waters. So it includes 5 areas. Number 1, this closed season. Closed season meaning science-based assessment, wherein if they find out that there is one species that is declining in terms of population, there will be a study on the reproductive biology, so that during the breeding period, there will be a closure. There should be also mangrove reforestation. There should be, of course, sanctuaries, and of course, there should be no illegal fishing activities in the area. And lastly, they should maintain the cleanliness of their coastal areas 24/7. So meaning, if the coastal municipalities qualifies in these all criteria, they have a price of 20 million for the in kind to support the fisheries, fisher folk in that particular municipality.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for today, sir. Thank you very much for your presentation and answer very straightforward for our audience today. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very interesting to see the high level from government agency like BFAR, Dr. Willy Cruz, that sharing what he's involved in the day-to-day on the farm for improving aquaculture. So we all have to see this is the real man who is on the ground to improve the aquaculture production for Philippines. For me, I would like to thank to BFAR and Tilapia Association for bringing you with us today. And thank you to all the audience here. If you want to know more about BFAR Region 3, please feel free to contact Dr. Willy and his team. He will give the email in this webinar. And of course, we are going to connect more on the aquaculture equipment, aquaculture technology, and to see you all again during our online exhibition 24 to 26 November. Thank you very much. Selamat po.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Thank you.